This NBA Conference Finals edition of the Sports Game of Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for better. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus.
This is Brian Bosworth, aka The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
I had to bring out a happy shirt from a happy time of years past. Look at this clearance rack, Times Square. Probably brought this baby maybe a decade ago.
Bing bong, it is, Ryan. Your New York Knicks Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, what?
First time in what, 20 years, huh?
I don't want to make this just about the Knicks. We were told a lot of things about this league, this association, and who had a chance to win the championship.
None of the four teams that are in the Final Four were teams that people said
OKC
has a chance. Oh, you're right. Sorry, OKC. But the other three teams and
the other three teams weren't given.
It's going to be interesting because Knicks obviously have won an NBA championship, but it's been since the 70s, and then the other three teams have never won an NBA championship. So we are going to have a new winner. At least the Knicks, it's been 40 plus years, so that's going to be exciting.
As a fan of not one of those four teams, which city are you rooting for?
Ooh, that's tough. I would like to see Indiana. I feel like they're a basketball town, a basketball city. Also had a small future on the Pacers 22-1 to win the East, so I'm obviously going to be rooting for that. Although if Oklahoma City wins it, I won't be upset. And same honestly with anyone but the Knicks, I think I would be happy for.
Even Minnesota.
Yeah, I could deal with the Minnesota championship.
Okay.
I like Ant. I mean, I'm not a big Gobert fan, but
You've been having some words with the good people in Minnesota.
That's Vikings fans. And I realize they might be some of the same people, but I would be anyone but the Knicks is what I'm rooting for personally, but we'll see. I'm sure I'm going to get some more action down. Ryan, you ordered a new Knicks shirt. What happened to it? Why is it not arrived yet?
What do you mean?
Just
stay tuned this week.
Oh, okay.
I'm unveiling slowly a return to paying attention to the NBA and conference championship week.
Okay.
Or conference finals.
But you ordered some gear. What do we? It's not here yet.
Oh, it's here.
Oh, you just chose not to wear it.
Haven't worn it yet.
Okay.
No need. What did I tell you?
Yeah, I guess you don't. Are you worried about jinxing it? Right.
Well, I also said I would wait till they win the conference. They get to the conference finals to order anything because I've seen this story over and over again.
Yeah.
So I did have an internal dialogue. Here's the question: which player did I purchase a T-shirt jersey of?
A jersey?
A jersey.
Jersey is kind of lame, Ryan.
I wanted a T-shirt.
I feel like
I didn't want a jersey. Basketball jerseys are also kind of like they're kind of lame.
I feel like you have to go Jalen Brunson.
No.
Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was easy.
I like Josh Hart. Former Villanova guy.
Hart guy. All Hart.
One of the few likable Knicks. The rest are trash. And their fan base, right? I mean, the Eagles fans get roasted left and right.
This is a bad take. You just backed this one down.
They stole.
Just don't even try.
They stole the Commander's beanie, and people were saying the fans should be charged with assault. Meanwhile, Knicks fans.
I didn't feel that way for the record.
I'm telling you what the dialogue was. The discourse. People are outraged that a Eagles fan stole a Commanders
Tell
fan's
me more
beanie.
about the straw man.
And then there were a lot of people upset about that. And then meanwhile, these Knicks fans are slamming Pacers fans with giant bags of garbage. Now I will say,
here's the evidence. It's a firefighter who's wearing a Pacers jersey on a day they didn't play a game, right at the same time that a Knicks game has just ended in the city where the Knicks played, near where the Knicks play. Perhaps this man
kind
lost the bet. Perhaps we know the firefighters like to have a little gambling activity fun. Perhaps someone lost the bet here.
Well, maybe it's like the content creator who wore a wire as a Packers fan when he went into the playoff game and tried to excite the Eagles fan base to draw content and try and malign the Eagles fan base.
I mean, I see how you're trying to tie it back to woe is me. I think anyone who has the take that what the Knicks fans are doing is either out of line because they're being violent and savage, or is out of line because they're celebrating getting to a conference finals. Fuck off. Who cares? Like you're mad that a fan base that has sucked for a long time has a horrible owner. An owner so bad we all just accept it as being horrible. An owner so bad that we just the Charles Oakley thing happened, and he's still the owner. Charles Oakley is still basically not allowed at Knicks games. It doesn't matter. And so, yeah, they're going to celebrate. Also, you have to realize New York is a city where basically every fan base has a choice, or they had someone in their family lineage made a choice. Not the Knicks. Everyone's a Knicks fan. And as I've said on this show before, the team that lights New York up the most when they're winning is the Knicks, and it's not even close. So fuck off. Don't be. And by the way, if anyone's actually a sports fan and doesn't think the Pacers fan in New York was losing a bet or trolling in some way, I mean, where he deserved to be smacked around a little bit,
there's probably more to the story.
Fuck around and find out. You fuck around and find out. You don't fuck around. You don't fuck around in a city like New York. Someone's gonna let you know. It just seems like what a soft ass thing. What a soft ass thing. Anyway, I'm
see the chat is lit. We got Woodson in the chat saying shed powder. Shout out to Woodson.
Oh my God, I was watching some plastic surgery thing. Somehow these plastic surgery reality show clips have made it into my feed, Sean. My God, do not. I mean, shed beers are not good for your nose. Long term, not good for your nose.
Great health tip to the audience. The Hastronaut saying dabs up, baby.
Shout out
Crane in the house. All time great user handle. Big Protein.
Oh.
Damn, finally caught y'all live.
Big Protein. I do like that.
DB Cooper saying coming out to Vegas in October, arrive on a Thursday. Hope you guys are still doing VSiN shows on Friday nights.
If you're still having us.
Yeah, that's the plan. And of course, if you're going out to Circa, also sign up for the Circa Fantasy Football Contest. You can win. You and 11 of your buddies, basically your entire fantasy football league, can win a trip out to Circa. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. They got a $5,000 bar tab. You get a party up at Legacy Club, the overhang bar, open bar packages. It is, I mean, Stadium Swim Circa. If you've never been there, you really are missing out. And go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. That's CIRCA. Sign up for free. You have a chance to win this awesome ultimate fantasy football draft experience. Highly, highly recommend it. And of course, shout out to edgeboost.bet. Get you your Edge Boost card. Edge Boost is the bank account built for bettors. Of course, no usage fees, no minimums, earn cash back rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. It's a card you can't leave home without. Sign up at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and EdgeBoost will match the deposit. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Joining us on the line from the NBA and WNBA gambling podcast, we got Scott Reichel and the villain himself, Terrell Furman. Thank you, gentlemen, for hopping on. And look at Scott Reichel rocking the NBA gambling podcast. I know the WNBA season just started because there was already a hot button issue with with our buddy Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Scott, what is your hot take on Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark? Is there a hot take we haven't heard yet?
Not really. I'll say the hot take, which might sound harsh, but it's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Do you remember the LeBron James Lance Stevenson rivalry?
Yes.
I'm kind of getting those vibes right now where I feel like you can argue that Caitlin shoved. They're not even going to go that far. But it feels like they're starting to get a bit too attached when one player is a top 3 player in the league. Angel Reese has made us a lot of money. She's a phenomenal rebounder. Having said that, her team's not very good, and Indiana's one of the favorites to win the championship. It does kind of seem like for a person who's trying to build her own brand, allegedly, with Angel Reese, there's a lot of attachment to Caitlin Clark. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of attachment there.
And
that's the best comparison I've heard.
The Lance Stevenson angle is great. I mean, who knows?
It's so perfect because
blowing in her ear. That could be coming
Lance
up next.
Stevenson thought he was on the level of LeBron.
Yeah. Well, that's what made
that's why it's perfect.
But Lance Stevenson really believed it, and that was
my god,
that was awesome seeing
blowing
him
the kisses. I miss those days.
Yeah, blowing the kisses, blowing in his ear. He was just the ultimate pest. And to me, as a WNBA casual, I think, to me, it was and Terrell, I'd love to hear your take on it. But to me, Angel Reese, you're a guy who likes wrestling. Angel Reese loves being the heel, and the heel gets worked up when they're going head to head. I don't know what is the opposite of a heel. What's your take on the
baby face? A baby face is the opposite.
So whoa, good job, Scott.
Thank you, thank you.
Caitlin Clark's the baby face. Angel Reese likes playing the role of the heel. Someone had a great comment online about. Maybe it was a bullshit foul because who's intentionally fouling Angel Reese when she's going up for a layup? I thought that was pretty fun. But Terrell, what was your take on the Angel Reese Caitlin Clark? Big news, but really the big news is people should be subscribed to the WNBA Gambling Podcast for what matters, the picks. But what's your take on the hot take situation?
I think that it's a narrative that a lot of people are trying to push, and I think that it really doesn't need to be there. It was very clearly she was trying to avoid her. She was trying to foul her, and she ended up pushing her. And okay, it's a flagrant foul, but like flagrant fouls happen. People get mad after flagrant fouls. Like this literally happens in any other basketball league any given night. And so it really was nothing. I think it's just that their brands are just so big, and it's really everybody else making this a much bigger deal than what I think either player think it is. I don't think it's a big deal at all, but like I feel like everybody, the fans, want a narrative to push. They have an agenda, and there's like, all right, let's just make this as big as possible. And it's like, okay, fine, but it's literally happens every other game.
I think the word you're looking for is main characters, and the WNBA is kind of trying to lean into that, where you have a narrative storyline. The bigger story for me was Caitlin getting the triple double because I have her to win MVP, so I cared more about that. But I do think it's definitely true. I don't think it's as big of a deal as they were making out to be, but people are talking WNBA for better or worse because of this narrative. So they're going to milk it.
Yeah, I would say if I was a script writer, this is an amazing way to start your season. Now, even the way the play unfolded, you could almost see the ref whisper into the ear of Angel. Now is time. Activate the play. Sleeper cell activated.
Well, also Angel Reese.
She flagrantly foul, like the one foul that would have been called in any game, NBA or not, was the foul, her push in the back to get the rebound, to which Caitlin Clark is looking like, are you going to call that? Once she realizes, no, you're not going to call that. She does what I can only explain. If you just replaced Angel Reese with Draymond Green's body, the same thing would happen. You touch it and it immediately flails like a jack in the box, in which case she makes the foul look worse. Look, here's what I would say. My takeaway: I love all the compilations of all the times Angel Reese has tackled people on a basketball court. I also then have very much enjoyed watching all the clips of Angel Reese missing layups because of your point, Sean. Why Fowler? She's in the zone where she generally misses. But last thing, I officially have switched sides on this thing because what I find to be just utterly, I don't want to offend people, but utterly slow thinking or processing is how do you not see the fact that having players hate each other is positive? By constantly wrapping up in this fucking racial shit, all you're doing is putting it into this. Now everyone has to talk about it, and they have no idea what they're saying. And now you have guys like Emmanuel Acho telling me, a white guy, I can't even watch his video where he talks about RG3 and Ryan Clark, 2 black guys.
It did create
so confusing.
It did create this hot take domino where then Ryan Clark's or RG3 had a comment, then Ryan Clark had a comment, then other people are weighing in on their comments.
I got to bring the paper with the genetic paperwork of my kids to take part in a conversation. How does this work?
It got off the rails. But
anyway,
this is what happens when we don't have. But when we just have baseball and WNBA.
The thesis is more of this. More players hating each other. That's what I need
sports
to see.
Hate, rivalry.
They don't even hate each other.
Yeah,
they have both came out and said we actually like each other. But everybody else, it's the fan bases. The fan bases hate each other, and that's where the money is made, and that's where they're exploiting. And the only part that I hate out of all of this is the people that take this too far and they start going like really ape with the comments and all of that, especially like in the comment section and stuff like that. That's the only part that I hate out of all this. But like it gets pretty gnarly in there. If you've ever been attacked by the Caitlin Clark community.
Oh no.
No, but if you've been attacked yourself, have you been attacked? It's pretty bad.
I'm not going against Caitlin. I mean, I did go against Caitlin Clark. I kind of did know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, well you said she's weak.
I said she was.
Caitlin Clark, not very good. I don't have that sound drop, but that was great.
Oh man, it is wild because even in the moment when you saw the highlight of the game, it was like, uh oh. But I think it's good for the game. I mean, shit.
Yeah, sports hate is great. Rivalries are great.
Well, and what sports league do you know that has success where people don't hate something about it? So it's easy.
All right.
Also, find out the other rivalries in the league. Oh my gosh! Wait till they find out the ones that actually end up in fisticuffs.
The last point I'll make just quickly is the fact that there was a talking point on the game when one team won by about 80 points. That's what the WNBA wants. At least they had some type of talking point. It's in social media circles. Their narratives being written and basically carried out. When the game itself was horrific as one team dominated. So at least you got something to talk about from that if you're the WNBA.
All right. We got the conference finals, Kramer. We do T-Wolves Thunder. We got the series game 1. We got Pacers Knicks in the East.
I prepared a statement.
Oh, let's go. Now I know, fill people in if they haven't been subscribed to the NBA Gambling Podcast, but where are you coming from, Terrell? Maybe give them a heads up on your statement.
Oh, yeah, I'm just letting everybody know. I mean, if you don't, I am a Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan through the thick of all of it. Benching of Nate Robinson.
Benching, he was thrown out of the arena.
Oh man, dude! I mean,
he wasn't allowed to go.
Speaking of thrown out of the arena,
that to be
Charles
the first
Oakley
thing that you bring up.
That's
some old Knicks fan is rolling over in his fucking chair right now, like Nate Robinson.
There's been so many ups and downs with this organization through the years. The Linsanity, as you have the shirt, through that. Oh man, do you remember when Amari Stoudemire almost beat the freaking Boston Celtics and Nate Robinson broke his hand? Good times. It's been bad. And so with this, everybody told me before the series started, I even said it myself because I listened to everybody else, that the Boston Celtics, there was no shot they were losing to the New York Knicks. With that, I prepared the statement to say, fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Nice.
Fuck Danny Ainge. Fuck Larry Bird. Fuck the Boston Tea Party. Fuck Boston Market. Fuck Boston Cream Pies. Fuck Fenway Park. Fuck Donnie Wahlberg. Fuck Tom Brady. Fuck Ben Franklin. Fuck Paul Revere. And fuck Clam Chowder. Shout out to the Knicks, man.
And great rant there. Great prepared.
We
statement.
like Manhattan clam chowder.
I would say, Manhattan clam chowder also tasty.
Also, the Boston Tea Party was to protest British taxation. I don't know if we're
Ben Franklin's
fuck Bill.
Ben
Paul
Franklin's
Revere.
more of a Philly guy. I will say that they got a statue up there in Philly on top of that building, Independence Hall. Philly claims I love Donnie Wahlberg taking shots. I love Brady taking shots.
My favorite part is how now, like a true NBA team, from championship to complete rebuild in 2 seasons, the 2025 Boston Celtics. This is amazing. They're not going to win. They're not going to be good for a long. We might be entering. Boston sold their soul. We all know they did something back in the early 2000s, and they had one of the best tears a city has seen.
Wow! And now
we might be entering.
Now they see the demise of Bill Belichick.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, the Devils coming to collect.
Yeah, they're paying their
Drake
dues.
May, Mike Vrabel. Who knows what's next?
All right, Kramer, let's get into it.
All right. Game 1. Well, the West goes first. Again, shout out to we crushed the UFL for their scheduling woes.
Yes.
NBA on it here, making sure that there's no rest here after a game 7. Right at it. They'll play before the East. The Tuesday night game, 5:30 here on the West Coast. The 6 seed Timberwolves taking on the 1 seed OKC Thunder. If you are a ratings honk like Colby, you might be like, no one's gonna watch this game. OKC laying 7.5 in the first game, 215.5 is the total. The spread on the series, the fairest one I saw was 2.5, although it is plus 138 for the Thunder to lay it, minus 170 to take it with the Timberwolves. 5.5 is the game total at minus 140. Lot to unpack there, but man, do you like or hate the fact that the Thunder have to turn around and play right away?
Well, it's interesting because we've seen, I mean, the Thunder fell victim to it earlier where they were, they won 4-0 and then they played a team coming off a 7-game series and they got upset in game 1. I think
rust has been over rest.
So far. I think the difference is, and some of those teams like the Celtics, the Celtics rely on the 3 ball. And so maybe the rest hurt them coming off. I think this game 1 though, I mean, the Thunder have played 13 games. Compared that to, they've, they've only played 11 because it was 7-4. But I still think this is a decent spot for this Timberwolves team to catch them sleeping a little bit. They've been great on the road ATS. I think they match up pretty well against them. I think they're obviously going to be well rested, and that 7-game series, traveling, playing at elevation, that has to take a little bit out of the Thunder. I do like the Thunder for the series. I don't know if I'm laying the 2.5. I think probably for me, I'll be getting on the over 5.5 and or the plus 2.5 games for the Timberwolves, because I think the Thunder win the series, but I don't think the minus 375 is worth it series wise price. Like if you were going into that game 7, they were only like minus 270 to win the West. Now it's shot up to minus 375 because they beat up in hindsight, the Nuggets just clearly hit the wall. Everyone was gassed. Gordon was injured, and you have a very healthy Timberwolves team. Julius Randle, their record is what, like 30-6 with Julius Randle playing. This Timberwolves team is going to be a tough out, and Ant has that mode. I don't know what his decision making is of like when he decides to flip it on or off, but I think game 1, I think Timberwolves come out of the gate firing. I think this is going to be a game. 7.5 feels like way too many points. Scott, what's your take game 1 here?
Yeah, so for me, I do understand your point about the rest versus rust. There have been 2 teams off game 7s, and both teams actually won. So I feel like you're looking at rust really being I'd say team that has a disadvantage so far, at least in the postseason. Saw Denver have a game 7. They won by a bunch against the Clippers. They won game 1 against OKC. And I think you're looking at what could be a similar story here. The thing about the Timberwolves, they've been very good so far. The Lakers, flawed team, no front court. Curry gets hurt after the Warriors were off the game 7, and they ended up winning by like 20 against Minnesota, and they had no center either. So you go from a team with Jackson Hayes and basically nobody else in the front court to a team with Kevon Looney off the bench, but basically Draymond Green. And now you're against Hartenstein and Holmgren. It's a very different matchup than what Minnesota got in the first 2 rounds. And I feel like Oklahoma City won by a ton. They got to sit the starters early in the 4th quarter. There's no travel. They played in OKC for game 7. I am going to go with the Thunder in this one. My series prediction was OKC in 6. I do think Minnesota makes it competitive, but I'm picking OKC to win the series. I do think the crowd will help, but I do think Minnesota, at the end of the day, it's not their fault who they beat so far, but I do think you're looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder representing a unique problem with the size they have, the depth they have. The Lakers and the Warriors had none of that. So I do think the Thunder are a completely new obstacle for the Timberwolves to overcome. And I see them struggling in game one. I'll go with the Thunder, a -7.5. Once again, picking a close series, but I do think a lot of people, might be overreacting to the immediate turnaround when so far this season, the two teams off game 7 games did win game 1. It feels like there might be a bit of an overreaction there. I'm going with the Thunder.
It'll be interesting to see if that trend continues or if we get some buyback the other way. Terrell, what about you? Game 1 and series, what do you like here?
I think it's tough because while OKC does have the size, I don't think that's all size isn't the same. And so Chet Holmgren, he's going to struggle with Naz Reid whenever he gets matched up with him because Naz Reid is super physical. I think Rudy Gobert can be really physical with him. Julius Randle, we know, I think he can actually have a pretty good series here. I don't know about the highest point scorer. You gotta average about 30 a game to get there. I don't know if Randle's at 30 a game, but I think he's going to have a really good series here. And so the question mark here for me is, how much is everybody else going to get into the game? How much can Nickeil Alexander-Walker affect the game, not just defensively, but be able to hit his 3-point shots? Can they be able to get some other usage out of the rest of their bench? Whereas the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're super deep. They can go 10 deep, and it can be a different guy here, a different guy there. And is J-Dub going to be a 20-point per game scorer in this game? Like, I think that both of these two teams, for the duration of the entire series, have enough players that are probably going to be inconsistent enough where this is a longer series. So I agree with Sean. I think this is going to be a long series to go over the series total of games. I think that I'm going with Minnesota because I just think the price is off. I think this is going to be a war, and it's going to be more competitive than it is most games and than not. And so I think that here, plus 1.5 games with Minnesota, plus money there, I think that's pretty okay. I think we can get to a game 7 here and just get hopefully some magic in a game 7 finally. And game 1, I'm going with Minnesota and just take the points game 1. Watch, see how the game goes. I'll probably make adjustments in game 2, but I just got to think that this game is going to be close because Minnesota's been playing really good ball. And unfortunately, they just had to play the teams in front of them.
All size isn't the same, apparently, is attributed to Bonnie Blue. I just want to throw that out there.
Wow.
So Terrell quoting Bonnie Blue, breaking down the Oklahoma City. There are a couple, and Kramer, why don't you go? Because there's a couple of props I like for game 1 and matchups that I think make sense for the series too.
I thought that did stand out relatively. Obviously, the fact that they've somehow played two teams who are completely devoid of real size, and this is going to create, like you said, an interesting challenge for them. I like the fact that we've seen teams like Scott mentioned on quick turnarounds and not be rusty, do well over teams that have had more rest. And I think just in general, I want to be very supportive of CJ through this next.
Oh yeah,
our
buddy CJ's got a huge bet on OKC to win the West.
So the man in the box and me are riding with the Thunder here, laying the points.
So you're going to lay the points in game 1. CJ did say,
is CJ mushing them?
CJ, he's very confident. And even when on the VSiN show, I brought up potential hedge opportunities. He was insulted that I even brought them up. But he did say, I like Thunder for the series, but I do like Minnesota plus 7.5 game 1. He goes, oh yeah, you got to take the points. So I don't know. Maybe he is on the points game 1. Kramer, what are you doing? If you like the Thunder for the series, how are you playing it? I mean, -2.5 seems crazy to me. I still like over 5.5 games because at -140, I can live with that price. Maybe there's a world because I think it's probably OKC in 6 or 7, but maybe there's a chance Minnesota gets it done. Certainly, they're not going to get it done in five or less. So I think over 5.5 games, you just cover yourself in so many scenarios.
Yep.
I was also going to throw out because I forget who it was, either Scott or Terrell that threw this out in one of the earlier rounds, but Oklahoma City to lead 2-1 is plus 110.
That was me.
That
was me in the Warriors Rocket series.
Yeah,
I was going to give out a second. A second after you spoke, I was going to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's so. Enjoy this category first of all. Second of all, I'm a little worried about the 5.5 because I do think a 5-game series is a possibility here. And so, yeah, I'm going to play. I totally learned how to do this better from Scott there. Cause the +110 OKC to be leading 2-1. I'm just going to play that.
All right. I like that.
I like OKC to win the series.
I'm actually on the other side. Me and Scott had this debate earlier on the NBA show. I'm on the Timberwolves to be up 2-1. And that's closer to 3-1 odds.
Yeah, it's 3-1 and right now. Yep.
If the Timberwolves can jump them in game 1, and maybe it is the game 7s. Hey, the game 7 is not really rust. It's more of, hey, we're ready to go. We're locked in. But if it's not, and they jump them in game 1, or they get any type of split in OKC, because I think this is kind of zigzag theory here. And so if they end up getting a home game and they're 1-1, yeah, the Minnesota Timberwolves could win 1 and be up 2-1 in this series. So I don't know, man. Minnesota's been good early on in the series, in the playoffs. And so I like the 2-1 look for Minnesota. So we went head to head there.
Well, you got Scott, and Terrell mentioned it about the size, and Scott was on that as well. I think, especially for game 1, and I feel like on this multiple times in the series, Rudy Gobert under points. I just don't. And in general, it's like he'll have a game randomly out of nowhere, but for the most part, he's price I think is like 9.5 points for game 1. I'm definitely taking the under. The other guy I like on the under is Jalen Williams under 20.5 points. He went off on the in the game 7. He went, but for the most part, him getting 21 points. That's been tough. He had a outlier shooting because he's kind of struggled in that series. He was 8 of 12 from 2-point. Really lit it up in game 7, and I like the under 20.5 points for game 1. But any props you guys like for game 1, the series? Anything jumping out at you, Scott?
Yeah, so I think I'll go with I'd say star player first. I think Shea Starr to adjust to playoff basketball. It's at 31.5. He's been so good against Minnesota. I want to read off the actual point totals against the Timberwolves. 39, 37, 24, 40, 37, 33, 34, 32. They can't guard the guy. And the fact is, he scored 31 plus points in the final 3 games of that Denver series, had 35 in game 7 on great shooting as well, and barely played the fourth quarter. I'll start off with the star players. I like Shea here to go over his points. The minutes will be there. Think he'll continue playing well. Minnesota historically can't guard the guy, and I do think he's finally adjusted to playoff basketball after having a struggle in the first series and a half of the postseason. Give me Shea over 31.5 points here. Volume should be there anyway at -110.
Terrell, any props you like for game 1 and or the series?
Well, first, I would like to say I was doing the math while you were talking. I have not bet a Rudy Gobert prop in 2 seasons because I haven't bet one this season. I didn't do it last season. So I haven't bet a Rudy Gobert prop in 2 seasons. And he's that level of band for me. Even when I try to get down on unders, he then wants to turn into Hakeem Olajuwon. Yep, 100%. So it's been a good long break from betting them, and I'm perfectly fine not betting Rudy Gobert. Isaiah Hartenstein has been making me a lot of money in these playoffs, though. I will admit. He's just the guy that's always there making the right move. Whether he's under the basket, constantly getting rebounds, offensive rebounds, he's slashing to the basket, or getting a alley-oop from J-Dub, or whether he's just he gets an offensive rebound and kicks out to an open 3-point shooter. He constantly makes the right basketball play. He's been good against OKC to the points, rebounds, and assists here. I like him at 21.5 to go over that and just fill up the stat sheet, have a good game overall.
Why is not to interrupt, but why is Holmgren a massive dog to Rudy Gobert for rebounds in the series?
I don't know. What do you guys?
Because more of this, I think it's the strength. It's just that you're probably going to see a size and strength of if he's matched up with Rudy Gobert can come down with those rebounds a lot easier than he is. That's just something he's got to build into with his frame, and it comes with time. I'm not saying he's weak, but it's just
he's averaging 9.7 to Gobert's 9.6 in the playoffs. The price of -150 for Gobert. Holmgren is +260.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind a sprinkle on Holmgren. To your point, Ryan, like, you know, the Timberwolves haven't really faced any of this size. I know Terrell's saying it's the kind of size, but still, I think at that price,
Or hey, all right, better
strategy:
fading Gobert by taking Holmgren at +260 and Hartenstein at +480.
No, what market is that? To lead the
most
game
rebounds for the series.
For the series.
No,
I don't mind that.
I'm saying spread it out over the entire series.
Here's Chet's last few games against the Minnesota Timberwolves in rebounds: 4, 12, 7, 5, 4, 8. But there is a 12 in there. There's a 12 in there.
All right, I won't do that then.
All right.
Fair enough.
Ryan, maybe you can let's put together a little group Underdog entry. Go to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. They got the ladders. They got the extender, which I used last series.
Why did they call it this? Like, so Sean, did you write the read, or did they send you that read?
No, they called it the extender.
They're not familiar with Jimmy Johnson's work in the 90s.
Extends. Go long with the extender.
Hey, they should get Scott Foster to be. They should get Scott Foster to be
right, like the
person. Yeah, the spokesperson for Underdog's extender, and it should just be Scott Foster with a whistle.
It is funny that they work that. There's a number of levels the extender promo works on.
So
yeah, one, the extends commercials from back in the days, but to Terrell's point, the series extender himself, Scott Foster, who maybe pops up in this series, but the extender basically it's like it's a profit boost. You play it game one. And then each game, the more games in the series, the higher it goes. It starts, I think, at 50%.
Yep.
Works all the way up to 100%. So, again, this is where you can get paid on these Underdog things. So opt in and fire away. Terrell, is there an Underdog entry angle you like maybe for game one? What do you think an Underdog so we can get this series extender going?
Oh, man, I mean they've really done something naming this extender, man. They've really done something here. All right. Cam and Mace would be just so disappointed in me.
Oh.
All right.
Pause.
I'm with Scott though. I'm with Scott though. Let's go SGA. Okay. SGA's just been so good. And so I'm with Taylor and my buddy Scott here. That could be our NBA play here. I like SGA to go higher, his 31.5 points there.
Ryan, can I talk you into Ant Edwards? We'll make this a group play. Rebounds and assists higher 11.5. My buddy Noops,
I was actually thinking about that.
He's been on this angle.
Way. Wait, your buddies with Noops too?
Yeah. He's Ant Edwards has gone over his rebounds and assists. This number 11.5, 7 out of the 10 playoff games. I think he's going to smash this. So if we play higher, Anthony Edwards 11.5 rebounds and assists, and higher SGA 31.5 points.
I'm in.
You can get a sweet with the 50% boost. That is a nice return there. Let's fire on that. Pink. Let's go. All right, gents.
I have one more angle for the Western Conference. I was sitting around the office by myself, just trolling through markets.
Okay.
It stood out to me that there also might be opportunity in the most 3-pointers made market because Anthony Edwards, huge favorite, -220. The Thunder don't really have a standout guy. But if you just break it down with everyone in the postseason, you take Anthony Edwards out, Alex Caruso is right in the same tier as all these other guys, Dort, Reed, and he's 48-1. So I'll ask Scott this time, since Terrell already rejected me. Any interest in a long shot Alex Caruso 48-1, most 3-pointers in the series?
I'll put it this way: I've heard worse bets in my time here. I do think though the problem you're running into with the 3-point market is the volume. Caruso was by design left open a lot because they were loading up on Shea. So if you end up getting the corner looks, then Caruso might end up firing. But I guess I'll have to ask you, how many attempts per game do you need from Caruso to feel pretty good about your chances?
Yeah, it's
7+. What are you looking for?
No, that's what I mean. It's probably 5 or 6. You're right.
Ryan,
would you like to hear? Oh, would you like to hear Alex Caruso's threes?
Yeah, what's Alex Caruso's threes, Terrell?
1, 3,
no,
7.
Okay,
1.
So maybe we just play a most threes in the game. Is that what we just learned? I think.
Yeah, maybe not for the series.
Okay,
because him.
Oh, this was good. We talked it out. We got there.
Maybe ladder him. Speaking of threes, our buddies over at Rhythm.
Oh,
again, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. Picks, props. They got you covered. They just launched the WNBA product. SGPN 25% off monthly. SGPN 50% off annually. Kramer, our buddy, you are going to be rocking his shirt. Maybe over 1.5 3-pointers made for Josh Hart game 1 plus 174. The AI quants over at Rhythm love it. So yeah, let's ride with that. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today.
All right. Let's see. Someone was at Nasreed's odds for most threes. Someone was asking for in the chat. Totally thought I still had that tab open. Now I'm a huge asshole. I'll pull it up in a second. Game 1 on the Eastern Conference side. As we've been mentioned, I mean, this is the other thing I'd like to say is everyone who's like, nah, it's going to be so annoying. They're going to bring up the past when the Pacers and Knicks had all these awesome games against each other. Like, what the fuck is going? What am I missing here? People are now angry at awesome historical basketball. Some great moments.
I've seen enough Reggie Miller montages. Would be my.
You think I like the Reggie Miller montages? No, but it reminds me of great basketball that we grew up with before the pussification.
Actually, that was a horrible basketball. Like the fact that they lost that game was horrible basketball. Like I mean, they talk about the bad basketball in the league now. Complete meltdown by the Knicks.
Oh, of course. I'm just saying it was a great time for NBA.
Sure, but
it reminds me of when Jordan had to sit out a couple years because the gambling scandal.
If they don't bring up the spike Reggie Miller, I won't be like, oh man, I wish they would have mentioned it.
Well, but they have to bring it up.
Okay.
It's an iconic moment.
Spike will be there.
It's an iconic moment. Yeah, Spike and Spike is basically the same person. If you let that person live in a candy land for 20 years, his jerseys have gotten insanely ridiculous. It's just a weird. It's another weird anti-Knicks take to have.
Oh, you're gonna hear about it all the time. Reggie Miller's doing the game. This is on TNT.
That's what I was going to talk about. I'm fine with seeing the highlights of Reggie Miller, in the past with the Knicks and everything like that, but maybe a little less is more in the booth for Reggie Miller. I don't
he's going to mention it
him in the booth. Oh no, I didn't mean talking about. I mean less actually seeing and hearing him in the booth because he's not very good at his job. That's kind of my point. I don't think he's a very good TV guy. But
I mean, really, let's break it down. I mean, they were so worried about pissing off the audience by having their commentators pick a side. How can you have Reggie Miller do these games? How can you do that? Throw him in the studio, swap him with Kenny, right?
Kenny doing play-by-play. I don't know if that's his wheelhouse.
Swap him with Shaq.
To be fair, I don't know if color commentary is Reggie Miller's wheelhouse either, but he still does every game. So I don't know if that's really fair. But I mean, look, I'll put it this way: you need to bring it up because, of course, of the history. They made a 30 for 30 on it, which is a solid watch too. But you also had the rematch of last year, which was a 7-game series, which Knicks fans try to forget because half the team got hurt. But still, you do have a solid amount of playoff history with these teams, and Reggie Miller is in the thick of it. The problem is when he announces on a podcast he hates the Knicks and he's broadcasting potentially all 7 games of the series. You have a conflict of interest. You're into here with the series, so we'll see what happens. But I'm not really looking forward to hearing Reggie Miller talk about the games here, but I'm looking forward to the games themselves.
So, I'm with Scott completely. I'm finding it interesting how like pained it seems to make people that Knicks fans are enjoying themselves a little bit, and that they're gonna have to listen to Knicks.
I mean, there is
stuff.
I wouldn't say act like you've been there, but Ryan,
what do you mean?
so many times.
I have it.
No, right. That's what I'm saying. But as handicappers, don't you like to fade the team that's dumping the Gatorade? Literally, they had like a door out in Madison Square Garden, like a crowd gate. The
fans.
People were crowd surfing,
not the players.
You don't think the players were celebrating? Cat
no,
wearing that meme T-shirt at the Yankee game.
I don't think Jalen
Did the Eagles
Brunson
celebrate after they made the Super Bowl to go against Tom Brady. Did they have a letdown in that game? Or did Nick Foles knuckle up?
Eagles never celebrated.
And that was their decision. And that was their first.
The fans didn't celebrate.
They were chasing a title. They were chasing their first title.
I'm just saying,
pushing this narrative.
Terrell, that's a great point, because that was Sean's exact thing. Like,
that was exactly what he was saying.
We've not been here. We're gonna enjoy this. We're gonna celebrate these moments. Like, fuck off.
Okay. So you're comparing the Pacers to Tom Brady?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I'm saying that the fans are enjoying themselves. Brunson, Hart, all the dogs plus one cat in the locker room. Even Thibodeau, business as you.
We are comparing you in 2017. What was that? 2017.
Yes.
To the Knicks fans now, because it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, if Brunson got injured and they, Nate Robinson, they claimed him off waivers and he was putting the team on his back, that would be a little more magical run.
The irony is that Tibbs somehow has a healthy team. Not knocking on wood. Knicks,
he's done everything he can to prevent it.
Knicks who have home. Knicks who have home. What? I knocked. We got a big wood table. It's actually real wood too.
Because, dude, that was wild of you to say.
Well, again, you told me not to change.
I'm
not
changing for you.
I'm not changing. Knicks Pacers. The game's on Wednesday night. Knicks, of course, have home court as the 3 seed. That's not something you see every year. Knicks laying 4 in this game, -180 on the money line. Pacers +150. 223 is the total. For the series, it's 5.5, but heavily juiced to the over, -188. Pacers +122. And if you want to lay 1.5 with the Knicks, you get a nice juicy +154. I've heard mostly people go out of their way to shit on this price. How could the Knicks be such heavy favorites? Blah 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 blah. This team full of dogs, and I couldn't name one fucking player on the Pacers. Bunch of no-name bums.
Okay,
Scott, what do you like in this one? Game 1 first, then the series.
I just find it a bit weird. You can't remember their team names when you saw them for 7 games last year, but that's a whole separate point. I do think for game 1, go with the Knicks in game 1 with the crowd. For the record, I see a war. Last year, Indiana won in 7. I got deja vu again. I got Indiana in 7 in the series. The last time I was on this show, I disrespected Indiana, and I said I thought Milwaukee had a chance. That didn't go too well. And some Pacers fans have been chirping me since, rightfully so. They earn the right to do so.
Yeah, Scott, it was so funny.
Scott, don't stand down to these
fans. These Pacers fans, because I was also included. They go, "I demand an apology for what you said about the Pacers," and you go, "That's fair. I was wrong. I apologize."
Yeah, it's fair.
It was funny because then the guy had nowhere to go. It was a great response.
At the end of the day, though, the point is, I have been a little bit. I've been a bit skeptical in Indiana. They won me over. I'll give them props where it's due. Maybe it's because of value. I thought the line was too big on the Knicks. I get that they have home court. That would be the angle why they're favored. But 150 really feels a little bit high to me. I would have had it at like -120. I see a very good series. I think it's going to be close. I think everyone, and why the juice so heavily on the over, we're picking probably 6 or 7 games. I got 7. I see a very close battle between them. And I think Indiana eventually wears them down with the amount of depth they have. The Knicks still have a bunch of injuries they're playing through. They have no depth. Shout out to Mitchell Robinson, though, who's been very good. They provided a couple of solid games at the end of that series. Indiana, though, I've underestimated. You know what? They've won me over. So I'll go with Indiana. However, I'm taking the Knicks in the biggest game of the franchise in 20-plus years. Give me the Knicks in game 1 -4. But I think the series will be very, very close.
Terrell, what are you doing? Game 1 series.
Well, I'll let you know. I have not picked the Knicks at all, and I will not start doing that now.
Okay.
He's not going to mention who he's taking in the series. He pleads the fifth.
Yeah. So yeah,
Scott's his attorney.
I can't pick a winner in the series. But what I will tell you is I have the script and I know how the series goes down.
Oh no.
This ends in game 6. Regardless of what side of the coin you are on, this ends in game 6. Neither one of these two teams are good enough that if it came to it in a game 6 to force a game 7, that they're going to step up to the plate and win that game. But on the other side, neither one of these two teams are good enough where if they're in a game 5 and a chance to end this and go to the NBA finals right now, that they're going to actually win that game. This ends in 6. Plus 220 for this to end exactly in 6 games.
Oh, I like that.
Neither one of these two teams have enough in them to either one, close them out in 5 or even give themselves a chance in game 6. And so I know how it's going to end. You can pick Knicks in 6 and they get revenge from the Pacers beating them on their home floor last year, or you could say Pacers defend home court, win in 6, do that, Regardless, I feel like this is over in 6 games, and that also gets me out of picking a winner. So plus 220, game 6.
Yeah. For me, and so wait, what was your
game 1? Game 1? I've been a Knicks fan for a long time. I can tell you how this ends. They completely let us down in game 1 of the conference finals.
Really?
Oh, dude. Give me the Pacers plus the points for sure. This is they 100% let us down. We did all of this, and I mean all of it. Did you hear the rant that I had at the beginning of the episode? I mean, I just did all of that, and you think the Knicks are going to reward me with a win? No, they're going to make this as hard as possible after they win this series.
Tibbs never makes it easy.
Never makes it easy. Never. Oh, it's Pacers plus 4.5. If the Knicks win, they win by 1.
Yeah. No, and coming into this series, you look at the difference in the games. Knicks 13 games with Tibbs riding his guys for massive minutes, and then Pacers, they've only played 10 games. I think that's a huge advantage for this Pacers team because I do expect it to go somewhat long. I'll take the Pacers to win the series at plus 125. You know, the over 5.5 games, I like Terrell's end exactly in 6 at plus 220. The over 5.5 games, you have to lay minus 190 almost. That to me is not interesting.
How many times in the history of the world have the Knicks and Pacers played a playoff series and it not gone over 5.5?
Oh, that's a good question.
How many series with 3 out of 5? That's the question you have to ask here.
Only one.
Okay.
I would just say, one figure. Yeah.
And this is the 9th. This will be their 9th meeting in the postseason.
No, I do think it goes long.
Only one 7-game series has gone under 5.5.
Yeah, I'm with. I'll toss in. I'll tag on Scott's Indian 7. It could be 6. I'm not as strong about it. I do like Terrell's psychology on it. As far as the matchups, I do the one guy the Pacers have to look out for is Karl-Anthony Towns. He's been dominating against the Pacers, averaging 30.3 points, 12 rebounds, 2.3 steals. He's been shooting lights out. In general, the Pacers have been just shooting crazy well this playoff series. Their effective field goal percentage through the first 2 rounds at 58.3, highest in NBA history. They've also had some of those like crazy games the way they've ended, but to me that just kind of highlights Halliburton. Like Halliburton clearly has a chip on his shoulder, whether it was kind of a fake generated. I think Kramer, you mentioned the overrated. I mean, the news story is kind of overrated because someone, I think it was maybe
I was gonna call her
Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, Rachel Nichols
actually did the math of like how many people actually voted of all the ballots. How many people actually voted? They did the math. They're like, it's either 7 or 8 people who voted for.
Might have been 12, but it was one of those things where it was like a comically small amount of people might have called him overrated. In which case it's been good for him though.
Yeah, he's had a chip on his shoulder.
Not announcer. Who was this guy that said that he was
Wally Zerbiak?
Yeah, Wally Zerbiak.
Oh, what did Wally say?
Oh, this
was
like
a while ago.
Last year, before, something like that. When he first got to the Pacers and he was having a good year, and Wally was like, "Yeah, he's cool, but he's not an all-star. He's like nobody special." And then he proceeded to not only give the Knicks buckets, but then also make an all-star.
You got imagine one of one of the names you got written in red lipstick on your wall is Wally Zerbiak.
He does look like a Bond villain. I don't know, Ryan, if you can pull up a photo of current Wally Zerbiak. He's got like crazy. I don't know if he's gotten plastic surgery or something. He's got crazy eyebrows going. Getting back to the game, the series. I think the idea is like, oh, Indiana plays fast. Knicks can make it, slow it down, and that favors them. But Indiana, they've been good in the half court. Their offensive rating in the half court against playoff teams is like 108.5 or 108.5 points per 100 plays. So I think this Pacers team is built to hang with this Knicks team. I think the wars that they went through, beating the Pistons in 7. And then that Celtics series, I think, is eventually going to catch up with the Knicks. So
they're battle tested, Sean. They're practicing for the war all year.
That sure, that's
this is the ultimate counter argument to Tibbs's style.
And I think they're. I'll take the Pacers +4 game 1. I don't know about them on the money line. I think if this comes down to a 1-score game, I wouldn't be shocked. So I'll take the 4 free points. Kramer, what are you doing? I assume you're taking the Knicks.
Just before the first round Knicks series, everyone's like, "Really, Detroit? This price? Are you kidding me?"
And they almost lost to Detroit.
And then the Celtics. It's like, well, no one's going to pick.
Well,
the Knicks
but let's be honest, that was the Celtics.
And I agreed. This is not something they typically do, but they have some. The last time, as a New York sports fan, I've been fortunate to watch some people who had some extreme clutchness.
Yes.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, wow.
What? You don't think Derek Jeter was clutch?
No, to just
Mariano Rivera.
If you're gonna put Brunson in the Derek Jeter zone, I think you want to talk about jinxing it.
I'm telling you what I've watched.
Okay.
New York, there's a certain kind of pressure that comes with being an elite athlete in New York. And Jalen Brunson is doing it.
Is he not the number 1 athlete in New York right now? Like
ahead of Tommy DeVito? Are you sure?
Well,
you could argue Aaron Judge, but you had the postseason stuff, so
yeah,
he might actually be ahead of Judge. But Judge had the playoff issues. You might actually go with Brunson.
I feel like it's Brunson. Like no New York athlete has the hopes of New York on their shoulders like Jalen Brunson does right now.
I can agree with that. There's
a certain understanding of the moment that this team seems to have that you can, when you go back and look at teams who have had great success, you find this type of quality. And part of that quality is the moment's never too big. And even flamboyant ass Cat somehow is being whipped into shape by Jalen Brunson and his fucking his Villanova goons.
Cat is zesty, as the kids say.
What did I call him?
You called him flamboyant.
Okay, I didn't.
Just go zesty, Ryan.
Make sure I didn't offend him in some way. Well, I mean, he's a fellow. I believe he might even be from not too far from where I grew up. I believe he's a St. Joe's guy. Scott or Terrell could correct me there, but. Yeah, he's a Jersey legend with a little spunk. But yeah, I again, there's something going on with this team that I would say the only thing that's going to shut them down is injury at this point. I've seen enough. That combined with the energy of the city. I mean, it's literally like a dude who's getting out of jail for 20 years and hasn't seen a vagina.
Can you knock on wood, please?
I'm not gonna.
You're really jinxing it.
What do you mean,
Knicks fans? If you want someone to blame for losing this, it is Kramer. Just putting the. I mean, did you guys plan the parade route? How's that?
No.
Going?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay.
Well, enjoying the moment. Also, the Pacers were literally the team as a child. You remember the teams you hated the most?
Yes.
I hated the Pacers the most. As much as any football team, as much as any baseball team.
All right, game 1. You got the Knicks laying the floor.
Yeah, of course.
What about
Knicks win game 1? Knicks win series +115.
Okay,
that's just free money. I mean, I already like the Knicks -4. It's -180. I'm getting a fucking discount there.
What is it? Game 1 in series is 115.
+115.
Okay.
Knicks, and I would say that it's a mortal lock for this to go longer than 5.5. So. What's the better bet, to lay the ultimate chalk or just predict the exact score? We'll predict the exact score. I'm punks. You said 6. You said 6.
Neither one of these teams have the heart to force a game 7.
Knicks in 6 plus 590.
It's over.
Plus 590. Knicks in 6.
Adam Osimo in the chat saying Cat to have 40 points in any game plus 650. I mean, considering his success against the Pacers, him to go off in one of these games and you get the entire series. He's
6-1. I mean, again, maybe better to do game by game, but there's a very real possibility he is the extreme matchup exploit. And if he can somehow keep himself out there, he is 7-1 to have the leading scorer of the series.
Cat,
yeah,
that's gotta. I mean, if you like the Knicks, I think you have to consider taking that as well, because Cat having some good games, and maybe he has like one of those 40 plus games that Adam suggested. I don't know what's better to take him to have a 40-point game in any game, or him to be the leading scorer for the series if they're priced similar.
Probably the 40-point game.
Maybe the 40-point game. Yeah.
Would you like to hear Cat's game log against the Indiana?
It's crazy. Read it off, Terrell, because he's dominated.
All right, so we've got Cat looking at his points. He has had, oh wait, I just lost it. There we go. 40, 30, 21, 40 in his last 4 games against the Pacers. So 40-point game in his last 4.
He's going to get one.
What's the leading scorer of the series going to average? 35, 33, 34, 35, something like that?
Well, does anybody in Indiana scare you for that though? Probably not, because Halliburton's more of an assist guy. You might get there with like 27. I don't know if you need 30 to actually get there. In the Thunder series, you do. In this series, you probably need like 26, 27 to get there.
Mean, so then it's really Brunson. Is how good is Jalen Brunson going to be over the duration of this series?
Yeah, so they're both prices being about 650 for the 40 points or him to lead the series in points. Yeah, Brunson is minus 430 to lead the series in points. So,
and
I might sprinkle.
I'll be honest, the total for game 1 at 223.5 feels high as well. Yeah, I think the under is probably.
Why is it higher than when I wrote these totals down? I initially thought I had reversed them.
Yeah, the fact that they're making and again, I'm not a huge totals guy in general, but
sometimes we dabble.
I'll experiment given the right situation.
New emotions, new feelings.
So what I'll say about the total.
What's your take?
They play whenever they play the Pacers, they play with pace. And the Knicks don't have any issue matching with pace, and their 5 guys will go out there and run around in circles the entire game. And so the Pacers like to play with pace, and then the Knicks don't have any issue matching them with pace because their 5 guys are just that good that they can keep up with them and play a really good game. And so I think that if they get the running, you might just see a bunch of up and down here.
Hector in the chat, shout out to you. Hector likes Naismith. 3-point leader plus 550. Heard it here first. Hector firing some locks. I think definitely an angle maybe to play in game 1 or just in general. Josh Hart's rebounding. He's done very well in this series.
You can get him plus 420.
Really?
Sorry, plus 42,000 to be the Finals MVP right now.
Okay,
if you were doing that.
No thanks. What is he to lead the series in rebound? Because that I actually think he can do. I don't mind.
It was 5-1. I checked that yesterday. It's 5-1.
Okay, I'll add that to my my kitty. Hart rebounds.
The second favorite to Towns.
Plus 500. I like that. And then TJ McConnell over 2.5 rebounds game 1. That guy, he's gonna suck him up. Terrell, you were on some of the TJ
Whoa!
Suck up the rebounds.
Oh my God,
Terrell!
That's Sean.
What?
He's gonna suck him up.
He's gonna suck him up.
It's like a vacuum. Come on, get your head out of the gutter,
dude. Come on.
It all started with the Underdog extender promo. Showing off the rails.
No, because I normally let a lot slide because I understand.
Suck it up.
I get it. I'm also in a different age demographic. I get it, but man, that was insane.
Well, Terrell, when I suck it up, it usually extends.
Exactly. Terrell, you've been on the TJ McConnell. You were playing some of the TJ McConnell combo stuff. It hit a wall game 7 because they didn't play him much because of the or whatever the game 6. Yeah. Whatever the elimination game was. he hit a wall with his props, but other than that, he was good. And his over 2.5 rebounds game one feels so low. They're gonna play him, I bet, a decent amount. What's you like any TJ McConnell? Any props series game one?
I mean, he's got to be on the card game one.
Yeah,
this is the pure. I got to Madison Square Garden. Like, imagine old ass TJ McConnell. Like, dude, there was this game in the Eastern Conference Final in Madison Square Garden, game one.
Your dad.
I gave the Knicks buckets. Like, just, and it's TJ McConnell, and you're gonna be like, who's TJ McConnell? That's what they're gonna say. All those, who's TJ McConnell? Oh, the guy that gave the Knicks buckets in game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. I can see it written as clear as day right now. So yeah, I'm all over TJ McConnell. I think that he's very, very good in the points, rebounds, and assists market. I like your rebounds play. I think you could add it all together. And I think he's going to have a pretty good game here. It's always that random nobody that goes into Madison Square Garden and thinks that he's the next reincarnation of Michael Jordan. And TJ McConnell is going to be my game one pick for that.
Let's get it. Scott, any props either for the series, game one you find interesting?
Well, I like McConnell as well. I'll take out the rebounds, though. I'll just go for the points and assists of 9.5. He's been really good against the Knicks. I'll read off the numbers with PA. 13, 9, 12, 19, 19, 12, 25, 7, 22, 21, 22. He's really, really good against the Knicks. And we know Indiana does roll out 9 deep, basically, for the sake of their lineups usually. So I do think you're looking at a spot where McConnell might play 20 minutes or so. So I'll go with McConnell to also have a solid game there. Do want to point out Cat, though, because I know that a lot of people love his matchup against the Pacers. I want to push back a little bit on that, because I do feel like people aren't paying attention to how much the broken finger is actually impacting him right now. Do you know how many 3-pointers he made in the entire Celtics series?
1.
He made 3.
Oh.
He shot 15.8% from 3. I'm not sure he can actually shoot anymore, which I feel like, once again, maybe he'll prove me wrong, have a great game. His 3-pointers are only at 1.5. And people might be jumping on that because he is a former 3-point champion. The problem is when you shoot 15% in an entire series, I question if the finger's more messed up than people think. And he's been good anyway, because he has been able to get to the rim, rebound. He's had a great series against Boston anyway. But the 3-point numbers fell off a cliff. And I feel like that needs to be talked about a bit more.
Yeah, good point. If you're looking to play that Cat 40+ points and stuff like that, yeah.
Imagine 40+ points and no threes. Oh, that's gotta pay crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if you can put that into the parlay.
Well, I did come across some fun like props where you can take Karl-Anthony Towns to score 2 buckets assisted from Jalen Brunson in every game this series.
Oh no.
What do you think that
pays?
pays? What do you think it pays?
Oh, that seems 8 to 1.
Well, it pays more than that. It pays 12 to 1. What about one bucket from Karl-Anthony Towns assisted by Jalen Brunson
every game?
Yeah, just one.
250.
It's only it's minus 130.
Oh wow.
No, yeah, I was gonna guess 110. So that was kind of the ballpark I was thinking.
Yeah, Scott. Ask Scott for these pricing questions. He's a lot better. All right, what'd you find, Terrell?
Oh my God, Cat to score 40 points and under 1.5 made threes is 281 to 1.
Oh God! All right. Well, we might have to bet that. Is that game one or is that in any game?
That's just a game one.
All right, we're gonna have to get that in.
Once again, Cat can prove me wrong, but when you shoot 15% from 3-point range and you're viewed as being an elite 3-point shooter, I got to bring it up because he has a broken finger. He was still good against Boston, but that 3-point shot has fallen off completely, and I wanted to bring it up.
That's some elite. That is some elite reverse correlation, Terrell.
I mean, Jesus.
All right, let's just end the show. How can we get better about that?
We can't. All right, let's close it out with some locks and some dogs. Brought to you by mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get the 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply on the rollover, but perfect for the prop builder, the live in-game wagering, the NBA playoffs, the MyBookie money bag. Do you have any NBA money bags from MyBookie, Ryan?
I can see what they had. I think it's probably the same exact score stuff, which it wasn't exactly that fun to try to sweat a Knicks.
It's better like the it's better the like the PGA.
I'll look what they got right now. We'll see. I'm telling. I have to click on some squares to let it know where the buses are.
MyBookie.ag promo code SGPN. We'll start with you, Scott. A lock, a dog, and a series bet. So you can kind of go anywhere here. Prop sides, totals, whatever you like.
Yeah, so I think I am going to go with the SGA monster game in game one. I do want to quickly see, though, if I can pair it with OKC to win to get better pricing. Just hopefully I'm not getting ripped off here. But I like SGA 30 and the Thunder to win game one. Let me just see what price I can get on that. Because I think if OKC wins, Shea's going to have a monster game. So I can get the two of them together at minus 104. I'll take that.
Okay.
Give me Shea 30 plus Oklahoma City win, and that's minus 104.
All right.
I mean, that's candy from a baby.
How does that
right?
not hit?
Yeah,
as the kids say.
Put all the money on that.
Scott, what about your dog?
So for the dog, what do I want to go with here? I think I am going to pick the Knicks to win, but at the same point, I do also want to throw in some respect to Josh Hart. I might go for Hart 10 rebounds, but I want to see what the pricing is on that because I do think Hart is a great series on the boards. Hart 10 rebounds, it's plus 108 though. It's a baby dog. I know I can get away with that on the show. Let me just see if I throw in the Knicks money line. Yeah, I'm not going to do that to you guys. Give me the Knicks money line thrown in with Josh Hart 10 plus rebounds, plus 176.
Oh, there you go. That's a real.
I'll take an order of that.
10 rebounds, plus 176. And your favorite series play, Scott?
Favorite series play, thought about the Thunder minus 1.5 and minus 130 something, but to be honest, I might actually just go for the plus money. Give me the Pacers at plus 125. No offense to Kramer, no offense to Terrell. Terrell loves it actually because it means I'm not picking the Knicks to actually excel, so I don't have to knock on any tables or anything. But I think the pricing is wrong. I see a very close series. I think it's close no matter what. I see it going down to the wire. The Knicks are laying 150 and change. That's a bit expensive for me. Give me the Pacers plus 125.
It's cute from a Nets fan, Sean.
I was half of a shoe away from the Eastern Conference Finals, so I don't know what you're experiencing, but I was close. That's all I got.
I did enjoy Scott reacting to the news that Russell Westbrook might be heading to Brooklyn.
Oh no.
Scott was this they called it the Russell Westbrook sweepstakes. I was dying. Terrell, give us a lock. Could be anything. Dog, could be anything plus money. And a series price you like.
I will say, I'm sorry, I was very distracted. I was looking up Cat. He has 3 30-point games this season where he has scored less than 2 3-pointers. Unfortunately, in all his 40-point games, he has more than 2 3-pointers.
So we just do it 30.
But there's and 18-1. 18-1.
That's
30
fun.
points.
Not as fun. That's fun.
Not as fun. It's not, but hey, ladder potential, ladder to 35, ladder to 40. If we get to 40, oh man. Scott has really created a monster here. With that being said, Cat over 22.5 points is for sure the lock. Like for sure that's happening. All right. Dog.
Dog.
I don't know, man.
Cat, you got a dog.
I'm kind of on the Minnesota wave. I really am.
Okay. What do you want? Series, money line, game one?
Let's go with Minnesota going out, punching them in the face early. OKC makes adjustments, and we'll see what happens in the second half. But Minnesota win the first half. That's almost 2-1, plus 185.
Ooh, okay. Attacking the first half. Yeah, I like that as a spicy play
spicy
there.
Spicy meatball.
Yeah. What about a series play? What's your favorite series play?
Can I parlay? No. Yes, I should. I'm gonna parlay I'm gonna parlay both of these series to go over 5.5 games. I think that's pretty good. Like this Knicks series is for sure going 6. And I really, really do think that we're gonna get a longer series from Minnesota and OKC too. So I like both of them going over 5.5 here.
It's pretty spicy there. All right, for my lock. Let's see. I think I'll go rare lock prop. I'll go Jalen Williams under 20.5 points game one. I just don't think he shoots that well again. He's not going to get 21. For my dog, give me you know what? Hold on. Let me pull up I was trying to find the price on this. trying to find a TJ McConnell alt rebound.
Hold on, I got you right here.
You know,
TJ McConnell.
You want 4 rebounds is plus 285.
Oh,
Jesus
fuck yeah!
Christ. All you need is 4 rebounds.
Yeah, come on. Plus 285. He's going to be hustling all over that court. And then for the series price, it's obviously the Indiana Pacers at plus 125. Shout out to my fellow sharp Scott Reichel. Kramer, close it out. What do you got?
Okay. Lock.
Yes.
You're going to put OKC money line and Knicks money line together for game 1. That's going to play.
The tout service is back. Your Discord, your Disc Club's back up in order.
And you should head
Kramer,
over.
Are you going to give out your Dub Club address as well?
My Dub last time.
Yeah, my Dub Club is fire. Like, subscribe. That's plus 102 for those wondering. So kind of a mini dog for my dog. I like some. I also like my OKC 2-1. That's only plus 110. Give me the Knicks in 6 for my dog.
Okay, what do you see that at priced?
We can call it. Let's just go 6-1.
Ooh, okay.
6-10 maybe.
That's your dog.
That's my dog.
What is your series?
My series. I think that's where I put the. We could also.
Game 1 Knicks series. I know you liked that combo before.
No. I like the OKC 2-1 after 3 games plus 110.
All righty.
Again, I was thanks to my muse, Scott Reichel.
just a quick question though, Kramer. For tracking purposes, is that a 5-unit Dub Club parlay or is that a 10-unit Dub Club moneyline parlay?
Well,
what's the unit size on there?
You got to go big on the moneyline parlays.
Yeah, just making sure.
So,
are you promising free VIP if it loses? Is that what you're doing?
What are the chicks that are like, if Celtics don't win Game 6, I'm showing ass.
Is
you
this
gotta do something like that.
Is this day 1 of 10 to 10K?
Yeah, Kramer, your ladder challenge starts today.
Nice. We should just call it the rack challenge.
Kramer will show his cans if the Knicks don't win.
This is ridiculous. I'm showing my ass on my Dub Club tonight. That would actually be a funny character. He's like a degenerate gambler who keeps betting nudity, and he gets really angry about it. Oh, God damn it. All right, here's my scrotum.
Shout out to the chat. Good times as always. Chat was lit tonight. Appreciate you guys going to youtube.com. You really smashing that subscribe button.
Pander to the chat. You in the chat.
I like them sending in their plays. Ryan Hasty like Knicks Pacers any game OT at 4-1. That's a fun sweat.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
we didn't really talk about the fixed job. Also, like, what we really going to go to an NBA Finals with one of these 3 flyover cities and not New York?
Yeah, well, if they want some ratings, could be.
We all know that I mean, how many times can the Indiana Pacers make it to the conference finals? You know how many times they've made it to the conference finals?
9.
8 times, I believe. This is their 8th time.
Well,
they've advanced
8 times the charm.
1 time they advanced to the finals.
I have to admit again, the New York Knicks have the best narrative. With Cat and the Julius Randle trade going down this season and both teams in the conference finals, this is literally a 50-50 trade that hit on both sides if they both make the NBA finals.
And DiVincenzo.
We'll see with that though.
Dante.
Julius Randle will eventually turn back into a pumpkin, I predict.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a spicy take. Big thanks to our guests, Scott Reichel, Terrell Furman. You can check them out on the NBA Gambling Podcast and the WNBA Gambling Podcast. Follow them on X at ReallyRel _, and Reichel Radio over on X as well.
So do we just lay the points with the fever until?
Yeah, give us a Scott and Terrell. Give us what's your latest WNBA locks? Any good angles?
So I went for the plus money play in that game. I actually took her in the first game. Not Caitlin Clark, but I think it's going to be a byproduct of that. Give me Aaliyah Boston. Double at plus 145.
Oh, I like this.
And
Terrell,
I don't know about laying the points because I still we'll see about the defense and how bad the Chicago Sky are at just shooting the basketball. But if anything is going to happen, Indiana is going to score the basketball. So Indiana over 89.5 team total. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that up there.
All right. That actually sounds like something I could just find myself betting every game. Just team total every game. Let's go.
Good times as always. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
I like being on Team Clark.
Kramer. Let it ride.